Okay, starting the stream here of game 4, I think, technically, of Yonn's. He didn't play 1, so fairly even blocks, despite the fact of being wood elves, though I know they did have a tree. Injuries were fairly consistent, which is peculiar. I think there was pretty good AV breaks, but decent SVP on both sides. A lot of ones being rolled between them. Regen was on point. Really terrible catches and pickups. That might be contributing to the fact this is a 1-1 tie. Not a great MVP for either side. Although, I mean, that's not a terrible one. One throw and a level. Won the coin toss there. The zombies chose to receive first against elves. Not the best choice. Generally, against something like elves, you're going to want to make them receive first. This team's not super likely to hurt you, and you want them to not... Basically, in a perfect world, you would hurt some of them on your defensive drive, making it harder for them to stop you later. Whereas them kicking now isn't that bad for them, because it means that when they're weakened, they get to go on offense in the second half. Also, I would mark this ball as one of my first actions. Probably not with the Mighty Blow White, though. Not really sure why he's not blitzing. Probably would have hit him there just to keep him marked. Oh, good removal. Is there no blitz this turn? Because neither of your whites are blitzing, so who is blitzing? This was a wasted... definitely a waste. You marked up so that he could hit you, and didn't blitz at all, and you took an injury for your trouble. Who does regen? Also, your team is kind of split out of position here. He's going to do the standard elf screen. Don't forget to blitz, especially when you have so much Mighty Blow. Also, be deeply careful sidelining against Leap. He can just jump over and hit you, so where this ghoul is good. If he wasn't here, I'd say this would be very dangerous. Also, I would not have put this zombie where he is, because, oh, he's not going to choose to follow up. But he could have followed up to block off this zombie. Although I guess that, or this mummy, but I guess that would have given your mummy a 2-dice hit. I would have liked this in the other order, just in case this blitz was not successful. Also, against a team like this, I would strongly consider fouling. Like, this dude being on the ground stunned probably wouldn't foul. But if he wasn't stunned, I would 100% foul him. I'm not really sure why you moved him to base a tree. Luckily for you, he took root. But now you have a mummy stuck there. When he could have just never touched the tree. I'm assuming he's going to leap here, because you left him an opening. Yeah, here we go. Leap. He's doing it in the wrong way, though. Oh, he rolls a 2. And he gets push. Still, though, this should prove how dangerous this guy is. Typically, one of the first level ups a War Dancer will take a strip ball, and that would have been your ball gone. I don't know how he would have recovered it, but he could have tried. So this is a 3 dice for the mummy, which is I hope the hit you take. Yep. I don't hate that. I honestly probably would have just used this goal. And then blitzed this guy here to create an opening up here. Like, he's fairly out of position right now. And you could have been up here, which would have been much more ideal. Because you don't want to be too close to this guy. That's the main deal. And also, when one of these guys has taken root, stop basing them. He can't move, so there's no need to worry about him anymore. That was a surprising 1 dice to make. Is he going for another hit? He is, holy shit. This is needlessly risky. He hasn't been super low. Oh, and he gets a stun. Now him, I would foul. I would put like a zombie here or something and just unassist foul that guy. I would totally foul him, even stunned. Oh no, that was a terrible dodge. I just want to point out how terrible of a dodge that was. That was a 5+. You got real lucky there. You gotta be really careful when you're already marked by someone, that you're not making unpleasant dodges. Like, that guy moving 1 square was not an easy thing. You gotta be careful with that. Also, you could have pushed him there to follow up with the mummy. I like that move. I honestly, with that guy stunned, I would be way more aggressive and I'd be moving my players up here. You're Blodge. There's not a whole lot of chance of him really knocking you down. Especially with how you're pushing his dudes around. Oh. I mean, whatever, that just means that the tree doesn't get to hit you. One thing I'd be careful about here is him pushing you into the tree, which he can't do there, but... because that could have been dangerous there if there was a spot. If he had gone this way and hit you, he could have pushed this guy out of the way to here, and then pushed your ghoul in front of the tree, letting the tree 3-dice him, which could have been really bad. This guy's exceedingly greedy, which I guess you have to be an elf. Your ball should be moving this turn. Like, there's so much space up here. This guy is still on his face. I would have pushed him the other way, in case this fails. Need a removal, which is good. I would have moved there. Oh, is he gonna... Okay, so... that War Dancer could pretty easily get a 1-dice on your ball again, which I have a feeling he's gonna go for. It was very lucky for you this tree rooted so early. That could have been a serious pain in the ass. Oh, he's not blitzing with him. Interesting. Might be this guy doing it. No, makes needless dodges before the rest of his movement. This is kind of why Leap is a trap, because he ran out of rerolls on like turn 3, because he failed 2 leaps. I would definitely hit this thrower. This basing doesn't make any sense. You're basing both. You're hitting for POWs here, which is never a good choice. Honestly, like, I would just avoid the War Dancer and just try to punish this thrower. At this point, you're just trying to get removals, and hitting a blodge piece is not your best choice, but hitting his other pieces to lower his man advantage would be the better choice. Either of those 4 dice that you rolled, well, both sets could have been a down on this thrower, who's AV6, by the way, so you should be hitting him. Because he's AV6. With Mighty Blow, that means you need to roll like a 5+ to Kaz him, or well, at least break his armor. I would 100% do that 2 dice after this movement. The complete lack of removals here is frustrating, obviously, but there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Probably would have followed up there, but don't reroll stuff like that. Not against a blodge piece, it's not worth your time, especially if you're gonna leave your ghoul based there. He should have been moved first. You're kind of asking for this guy to get surfed. Because currently, if he put an assist here, he could do a 2 dice to here and 2 dice to there. Oh no, right, he got dumb POWs, but instead he's just going to knock you down and fail to break your armor, but he could have easily done so. Ghouls are fragile and don't have regen, so they will die eventually. Go. What? I legitimately don't know why he did that hit. He could have 2-diced your white. Which granted wouldn't have done anything with those rolls, but... Good score. Not a huge issue against this guy, because I don't think he knows how to one-turn, but you do need to be prepared to learn how to do a one-turn defense. So against a lot of these guys, especially wood elves, especially once they have catchers, you're usually going to want to set up your dudes like lined across the back at a certain distance. That's, I mean, I'll send you a document about it, but and some people set up like in this area to make it more difficult, because basically what they do is they chain push their guys. They can do it with a war dancer, which is more difficult. And because they're so fast, they can actually get from here to your end zone in one turn. I really don't like this defense. Like 100% don't like this defense. I mean, you're covering it, but like if he wanted to do it, it would be this tree right here that would do it. I mean, this would make one turning pretty difficult, but against some teams, like giving them this many players to hit is going to be a bonanza for you potentially taking casualties as well. And yeah, the tree is going to come play, obviously. He's definitely not one-turning. But he does get a free reroll. It's good for him, not so good for you. Your armor breaks are definitely below average, but, or at least your Kaz dice. Not really sure what he's doing here. He doesn't have guards, this is literally a 1 dice. No punish. I can't believe he hasn't fired this thrower. AV6? Not a chance I'd be keeping that player. Oh, I had the bug where I hit the button too quickly. This is one of my least favorite bugs, as I can't actually see what the defensive setup is yet. I think it's you setting up on defense right now, so I'm kind of curious. Oh, I didn't get to see any of the setup. That was weird. I just want to look at it. I'm a huge fan, like, of the whites or the mummies on the line. It's not the worst against wood elves. Like I could see doing it against an elf team just to bully them into not getting LOS hits, which is not. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I certainly did it before playing as Undead. However, you left this white open. That's one thing I will say. Like you definitely need to work on like your symmetrical defenses. This is kind of all over the place. Even these guys aren't safe. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy's movement 8. If he wanted to, he'd get back here. He'd like I think it's 1 GFI for one of these guys to base him as well. So like to go here. So you gotta be really careful with that. Like what I would have preferred to see would have been like just 3 zombies on the line, and then your players just going back here with one guy right here. Just zombies protecting your good players. Failing that, there's a couple other symmetrical defenses you could use. Usually they like block here, and then you have your 3 guys here, and then it leaves the 3 open spaces right here. Can I draw on this? I can't remember if I can or not. I think I need to actually get a thing for that. I'll do that at a later date. Ah, there, I took a snip of that so I can take pictures, I can modify the picture later. Was that just a vanity pass? Or was that a handoff? Not quite sure what he's doing here. Looks like he's going to do a quick score, which it's going to be almost impossible for you to stop, in all honesty, because he's elves. The fact that he's blitzing with his ball carrier, though, that's ballsy. But he gets the removal, so what do I know, I guess. He's gonna protect him by basing up your guys. There's a lot of dice. Take a route here, so he's going to tie up these 2 players. This is the unfortunate thing about putting your mummies on the line, is that the tree is just going to base them. And he's just going to say, here, stand here all day. Also, the tree, like the way that he's using this here, that's how people typically use trees. They'll hide players behind them. So, I guess the thing I would do here would actually be, I would have moved this guy to here, and then you have to make dodges to do it, but this guy dodges to here, and then this guy does the 2 dice on the ball. You could have gotten a 2 dice on the ball. It is against a blodge piece, but failing to do so does mean he's probably going to score this turn. So, I guess we'll see what happens. I have a feeling he scores this turn. Just a quick little 2 turn. I would not base him, though. Not with just 1. Oh, is the white coming? No, you needed to go either 1 more square. So here's the thing. This guy, instead of doing that block, should have either moved here, if you were going to do this block, or you just do the block with him. Because he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 1 GFI, granted. But it would be 2 dice. Because the problem, like, yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to get punished with 1 dice. There's usually an easier way to get 2 dice hits. You just got to be careful about your positioning. Might actually stall. No, no stall. Just an immediate quick turn. Your white comes back at least. Alright, so the obnoxious thing here is that he still has a full team. And that shouldn't happen versus elves. So realistically, what I'd probably do here for my setup here would be, I'd honestly probably put a mummy here. Just because you might as well take the free hit that he's offering you. Failing that, I'd put a white there. Just to get a more, like, I'd basically put a white there. And then just move a zombie to here to get the 2 dice hit. Of course, the danger of that is that you have to tie up the tree, or else the tree will come for you. Like, I don't mind setting up here. I probably would set up here. You put your faster players on this side. You basically you're trying to get around him. The player you really need to be worried about is him. You definitely can't sideline cage, because he will get in behind you because of where he's placed. This is a really common elf defense, the asymmetrical one. Let's see, he's got kicks. The kick is very unfortunate against your team. As most likely comes into play here, because he's probably going to do a far kick to stop you from getting to it quickly. Yeah, like I like that. In all honesty, putting a zombie here would not be the worst choice. Yeah, it's actually a really good kickoff event. This would have been a really unfortunate place for the ball to actually land and not be able to pick. That's super unfortunate. Do not do this block first. You got lucky there. Do not do that block first in the future. This isn't the important block. The important block is on this guy. Don't do a 4+ pickup if you can hit the guy first. You would have succeeded in that. So you got to be careful when you're doing stuff like that. Tackle zones, which is this guy, give a -1 to your pickup. You had a zombie here, and this white. So the zombie could have went 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is where the ball was. And the white goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or actually, it goes to here. Either way, like as long, he doesn't need to touch the ball. I mean, even if you do a 1 dice on the ball, it would have been preferable to the 4+. Because the only thing you're trying to do is push him. So if you pushed him literally anywhere, it would be better than where he landed, than where, like, what happened there. Now he's going to push... Oh, he's not going to push you into the tree, which is very odd. I would have pushed you into the tree. That would have been a free 3 dice on a ghoul, but whatever. This is going to be a really hard ball to get back now because of all these tackle zones. So your best chance when someone does shit like this is honestly going to be, because it seems like he's just going to crowd this, is just to hit this guy. Basically move up the other ghoul, blitz this guy, with him preferably, onto the ball. Oh, now you can't do that. Well, actually he's making it a bit easier. He's putting way too many players on the ball. So you have to scatter it, so realistically, your only choice here is to take this zombie, put him somewhere down here. You might have to do this hit first. Although, no, you can't do this hit yet. So what I would do here probably is take this guy, put him down here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That just blocks him enough. You just 1 dice hit this guy with this ghoul. From here to here. Bounce him onto that ball. It's going to bounce out. Anywhere is better than where it currently is. Because unfortunately, he's just surrounded your ball here. I don't hate where that is. But this is not going to make it any easier to scatter your ball. You still need to do the 1 dice hit on this guy. This is definitely the important hit. Right there and there. Because the only place that he can go is to the ball. Also, be careful when you're based, like this guy, he had a 3+ dodge out, now he has a 4 out, 4+. You gotta be careful blocking your own dodges. And I don't like this blitz. Although I guess with that thing you wouldn't have been able to knock this guy into the ball anyway, but this dodge is insane. But unfortunately you just gave him a 3 dice with the tree who's going to push you onto the ball. And he gets pow. This is a mighty blow hit, so this could have resulted in your death. It's just a KO, luckily. And it's a really good scatter for you. He's going to scatter the ball again. Your armor is like paper. Another good scatter. Unfortunately, at this point, your ball is kind of becoming unrecoverable. There's just too many elves around it. You had to do the push play the previous turn to try to push the ball free. And again, if you had done the block before the pickup, you would have succeeded in your pickup. So I just want to point that out, that's why this happened. Even a 1 dice block would have been preferable to that 4+ block. Do not make mummy hits first. You don't have block. You make white hits first. Although I think 1 white's out, isn't he? Let's see, no. Where's the other white? Is there somewhere? There he is. But yeah, you hit with the white or you hit with the guard or the block ghoul. You do not. Let's get scatter the ball. Oh no. You do not hit with, especially a 2 dice with no block, when you have other preferable options. I mean, he's also throwing casual 1 dice everywhere, but... I don't hate that. You needed that guy out of the way, so that makes sense. There's too many people here to mark. If he can manage to scatter the ball, which is something you should be trying to do right now. Without, like, so another way that you could have scattered this ball, potentially, again, it's a shit show because there's so many guys piled up here, would be to have blitzed this guy right here. Not with this skeleton, but with this mummy. Just blitz here. Yeah, it's a 2 dice. It's not something preferable, but realistically, all you're looking for is a push. You push him onto the ball to scatter this ball out. Where this ball is, you're not picking it up. You need it somewhere else that your ghouls can get at it. And yeah, that might mean that he can potentially score as well, but like at this point, like he's just waiting for an opportunity for the ball to be open, and as soon as it is, he can steal it. You really need to get it before he can do that. And this ghoul really needs to stop basing that tree. Sooner or later, he's gonna Kaz your ghoul. Even with Blodge. Sooner or later, he's gonna roll pals. Also, that would have been a 2 dice with your block piece, so that should have been a block you took there. Yep. Tree doing the tree things. Goddamn tree moves slow. Oh, casual 1 dice pals. He's just trying to pick up your ball here, so he doesn't really care what the results are. That's what this guy's trying to do. He picked it up with the blitzing piece, which, by the way, don't do. This is just a cluster. Here we go, scattering onto the ball. I like it. Okay, well, that's the downside of scattering. Oh, but you get a POW anyway. Fishing it back out. You don't hurt him, though. Where does the ball scatter? Back into another terrible spot. Okay. Stand firm. The stand firm is a thing. Just, you know, trees do that, so you would have been better off pushing there. This is going to scatter your ball again. This should theoretically be a good thing. You should have followed up, though, because it might bounce to you. Where is this ball going to end up? In a zombie's hands. Okay, then. This is a very strange game. Rewarded for your 1 dice POW. Let's see. You have no chance of scoring at this point. He could, theoretically, just because he's in your end zone. But I think with his War Dancer knockdown, he's not getting anything. He's just trying to stop you from scoring to keep it a draw. You have 2 turns. Literally move this guy first. Don't do anything else. No, this was a poor choice. You got punished. That's what I'm saying. Do not do 2 dice without block when you do something else first. This dude moving up here was your chance of scoring, so you gotta be really careful when you're doing shit like this. He could have been half the way up here by now, and he has blodge, and this guy has no tackle and no strip ball, so you would have been relatively safe. Unfortunately now, because you did that, you're not going to be... Oh, and then he gets a POW. Because he had a follow-up hit, because he didn't move. Luckily for you, it seems like this ball's going to end up somewhere that he can't catch it. It's in another zombie's hands. So you got pretty lucky there, because if it landed pretty much anywhere else, there's a pretty decent chance he could have scored. And he really likes making 1 dice. So basically, the moral of the story is stop making 2 dice without block when you can do other things first, and do blocks before you do a 4+ pickup, because that 4+ pickup would have been a 3+, which you would have succeeded without the reroll. And it would have stopped this whole scrum from happening. But not a terrible game. You definitely should be hitting with your whites more than your bloodies. They both have... Those both no? No, those would not have both with 2 dices, but... The previous 2 turns, you did get turnovers because of them. I would totally foul. Oh no, there's no one to foul. Oh, there is a guy to foul. I would totally foul that guy now. 2 assist foul? I'd go for that. Nope. One thing is Undead you do need to look at is actually starting to foul. Like when you knock down a piece like a War Dancer, foul him. You knock down a Catcher, foul him. Because you're not getting the removals with your Mighty Blow, which is unfortunate. And you need to get removals. Yeah, there's a chance you might get sent off, but like you have a bench. Your players are 40k. They're not exactly expensive. But you gotta be really careful with just your turn orders. And especially with doing things like pickups when you're not paying attention to tackle zones, because it failed because you were in that tackle zone. But not a terrible game. You definitely rolled a lot more sensibly than in your previous game, a lot less 1 dice. Unfortunately, you got punished pretty heavily for a couple of your 2 dice, but that happens. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. That's Blood Bowl, basically. You just got to be really careful about your positioning.